Some breaking news. In his first interview since giving testimony on the Biden family business dealings to the House Oversight Committee, Devon Archer told Tucker Carlson that the Biden brand was absolutely, and I'm quoting, absolutely a key component of Hunter's work on the Burisma board. Now let's bring in former governor of Arkansas and former presidential candidate Mike Huckabee. Huck, we wanted to bring you in because this came out down about 3 hours ago or 5 hours ago or so. And Tucker sat down with Devon Archer. I mean, that was fantastic. Wanted you to break down some of these things that the Biden family has denied, that Devon Archer testified to, and now he's talking to Tucker Carlson. Let's take a listen to that first soundbite where Biden knew he was talking to Hunter's business partners. Listen.
You have said that there were occasions when Joe Biden would call in with clients present on a speakerphone.
Right.
How many times do you think that happened?
I mean, over a 10-year partnership, I would, the number I'm going with is 20. That's probably the amount that I kind of record. Yeah, a lot.
Just to keep it to the facts, Joe Biden, then the sitting vice president, knew that there were Hunter's business associates in the room.
Yeah, I think I can definitively say at particular dinners or meetings, he knew there were business associates.
So Mike, that he's again the same guy, Devon Archer, but he went a little bit further than the testimony he gave, where he said, "Oh yeah, he knew. Biden knew. Joe Biden knew. The big guy knew." What are your thoughts on this latest development?
Well, I think it kind of blows out of the water that assessment that Dan Goldman, the congressman from New York, said that they just talked about the weather. Because everybody knows if you're in a very high-level business meeting, your dad calls in and you put him on speakerphone and talk about the weather, especially when your dad is the sitting vice president of the United States. Look, it was theatrics. It was all about letting Hunter be able to say, hey, my dad's the vice president, and when I need him to come through for me, by golly, he just dials right in, and I get him on speakerphone. So that's what they were doing. This is influence peddling. They were selling the idea of access to the vice president of the United States. I don't think anybody in his or her right mind would say it was just coincidental that these phone calls kept happening right in the middle of business meetings with Hunter.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Huck, that Hunter was making millions upon millions of dollars working for and sitting on a board of a Ukrainian energy company, and Hunter has absolutely 0.0 experience in energy. For what? Other than, like you said, the phone call, he dials, guess who picks up? Second most powerful man in the world. Oh, hey, what do you know? Phone's ringing. Who's this? Oh, second most powerful man in the world. Burisma needed that prosecutor to go away. That prosecutor was going to investigate Burisma. I'll quote Joe Biden. Well, son of a it went away, didn't it, for that $1 billion check to the Ukrainians?
Yep. In 6 hours, it went away, and Joe bragged about it. That's the thing that is just stunning to me. He boasted of the fact that he threatened that he would withhold and take back to Washington $1 billion in aid from the United States to Ukraine if Shokin, the prosecutor who had been snooping around Burisma, was going to investigate them for corruption, the very board Hunter was on, if Shokin didn't get fired so that they would leave Burisma alone, $1 billion disappears. And just as you say, guess what happened? Shokin gets fired.
Yeah.
And Burisma does its business. This smells worse than a whole family of skunks at a Sunday school picnic.
I knew we were going to get a Huckabee in there at one of those points. So there it is. And by the way, folks, don't yell at me for saying that word. I'm quoting the sitting president of the United States when he's VP. Here, take a listen to Tucker and Devon talk about the abuse of soft power. Listen.
I've got a lot of kids. I'm very close to them, talk to them every day.
Yeah.
Never called them on speaker during a business meeting. That's weird. You've got a lot of kids. You're close to them. Do you call them on speaker during business meetings?
Do I call?
I mean, what is that? A grown man calling his dad on a speakerphone during a business meeting?
Right. And to be clear, sometimes the call was coming in and the speaker would go on. So it's just the president. You have to be. I mean, you understand DC, right? So the power to have that access in that conversation, and it's not in a scheduled conference call, and it's a part of your family. That's that's like the pinnacle of power in D.C. Yep, in the rear view, it's an abuse of soft power, I'd say.
Yeah. What do you say, Mike?
I don't know how soft that was. That's pretty powerful when you get a vice president on the phone. And if you do, most of us would have said, excuse me just a moment, my dad is calling. And you would have gotten up, stepped out of the room because you assumed it was a personal call. You don't hit speaker and say, hey, everybody, look who I'm talking to, the vice president of the United States. Look, he didn't have to say, okay, Hunter, what kind of business can I help you get today over there in Ukraine or in communist China? No, he didn't have to. All he had to do was to be present on Hunter's phone and let Hunter rear back and say, yep, when you need something from the U.S., you can call me because I can get my dad on the speakerphone and by golly, we can get it done. How else does Joe Biden make millions and millions of dollars? And how else does Hunter, a drug-addled mess of a human being, get on boards that pay him $1 million a year? It's access, it's influence peddling, and it's also a violation of the FARA Act, all of which should have put Hunter in the slammer.
And maybe implicate Daddy, big guy. Mike Huckabee, thank you for being here. Appreciate your time, sir.
Always a pleasure, Eric.